As they say, we are television active. Welcome to Homo Politicus, the lead show on Enterprise TV in Lagos. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Today, we tackle this issue. That's representatives, prod Mr. President to step on the gas, as they say, on Free's National Social Investment Program NSIPA accounts to pay NPower beneficiaries. You know, for the records, NSIPA, that is NSIPA, the National Social Investment Program of Nigeria, was set up by the federal government in 2015 as a social welfare initiative to promote equitable resource distribution to vulnerable populations such as women, youth, and children. Might I mention that poverty is not an accident, it is man-made and can only be removed by the actions of man. Mahatma Gandhi, father of modern India, reflected that poverty is the worst form of violence. I think I believe him. You know, almost 10 years after its formation, Nigerian lawmakers of the Green Chamber, that is the House of Representatives, think it is time to take stock and for Mr. President to step on the gas by directing Finance Minister Wale Edun to unfreeze the accounts of NSIPA within 72 hours. Deputy Speaker Honorable Ben Kalu and 31 other members have urged Mr. President to step on the gas, that's quicken the pace, so as to release outstanding stipends to beneficiaries without further delay. Mr. President is also asked to compel Minister of Humanitarian Affairs to remove administrative bottlenecks that have made NSIPA to become tenuous and less effective. One expected that by suspending Betta Edu, then minister, and NSIPA CEO, Halima Shehu, NPower was going the whole hog. It is said that when men and mountains meet, great things are done. Begs the question, are we on the cusp? Let's broach the subject matter. My discussant, the lone discussant I have today is Chartered Accountant, National Affairs Analyst, Akin Fatunke. Mr. Fatunke, welcome one more time.
Thank you very much, Citizen Jones, and I must say that always a pleasure to be with you on Homo Politicus. And for our viewers and listeners, thanks for the patience that you have to listen to us.
Because it is said it takes guts to address a people, and it takes more guts to sit down and listen.
You can say that. You can say that again,
Citizen
Jones. My first reaction has always been, from perspective of wisdom, is that anything that comes into public space in Nigeria, especially since, please pardon me, since 2015, really we should go as far back as 1999. Anything that comes into the public space, I want to, first of all, do scenarios, ask what is behind, what could be behind, what is the motive, and where are we going at. On the face value, you know, Honorable Kalu and his group in the National Assembly have a point. Have a point because if you say that you have designed a program that is supposed to take care of the poorest of the poor who could get there, and then you suddenly say you don't have money to do it, or because of one reason or the other, and you are going to put a kind of stop to it, it calls to question that you want the poor and poor and poor and poor to die? Or what exactly are you then trying to say? Or are you saying, like my grandmother would always tell me, that when you are frying groundnuts between the lame and the blind, one of them better start blowing whistle so that we don't now get it that this money that has been earmarked or should have been earmarked or have been budgeted is being swallowed by the rich. But on the other side of it is that, if along the line you have found yourself to have stumbled and you have fallen on account of wanting to get, your hand onto a prized possession and you failed intolerably, it also calls that you need to be a bit cautious so that you don't fall again and fall again.
Okay, but the advice is, they say the trick is to fall 7 times, but get up 8 times.
Okay, in this particular case, they are great falls. They are Humpty Dumpty falls that sometimes you'll never be able to piece again. Now, the president's raison d'etre was for the fact that there were untoward things that happened in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Then, under the ministership of Betta Edu, and then of course you had Halima Shehu, and the people they took over from, which was the Buhari's regime, also had people that were talking about trillions and millions that the Court of Competent Jurisdiction has pronounced that they have cases to answer. You want to be very, very careful there. Now, okay. So what has the president done? The president has therefore decided at that time to suspend Betta Edu and also suspend Halima, and also started a process of, okay, can we investigate?
Pick up the pieces. Yeah.
And the promise was for 6 months. And if you were not able to get this done within 6 months, you had moved it on to the Ministry of
Finance.
Ministry of Finance.
Yeah.
You begin to create some kind of impression. Okay, so I'd be a bit funny here. Did you move it to the Ministry of Finance because of that office, or you move it to the Ministry of Finance? You've taken something out from, say, South, I mean, where Halima comes from, and then you're taking it to your...
No, where Betta Edu comes from.
Yes, your friends, and Lagos appointee in Femi. Again, you begin to now wonder. The only thing, in my honest opinion, that I think should have happened was for the reps to have said, look, high time, let's find out what is gone with the social investment program that we are talking about. If you believe that it should be scrapped, there are processes to scrapping them. Don't just continue to keep it
moribund.
In limbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop keeping it in limbo, and then while our people continue to suffer, after all, you are putting touchlight into our constituency projects that we said we wanted to use to touch our people, which is illegal.
As I said, NSIPA is going to be 10 years old very soon.
Okay.
It's like watching a 10-year-old, your 10-year-old child, who has refused to grow.
Okay, now refused to grow.
Giving all that he or she needs.
In my honest opinion, another honest opinion here, no matter how you see what Honorable Kalu and his group have made, the buck stops on the president's table.
Yeah.
Have we had correct communication? Why have we not done what we needed to do? The whole world was asking that it was not just for you to just ask Betta Edu to step aside. Luckily, you have not reappointed her. Is she going to be prosecuted? Is she now going to be a sacred cow because she belongs to APC? And then, nothing is going to happen. The only thing, again, is that perhaps, I don't know why they did it. They must have their reasons. Why giving the president 72 hours?
That's 3 days.
To give the president 72 hours, is that a way of saying, look, if you're not going to move, we're going to kick you to be able to move? Either way, it's irresponsive, on the part of the federal government.
Without meaning to speak for anybody here, I think I use the phrase stepping on the gas. That is quickening the pace.
Quickening the pace.
Yeah.
Now, can I also say something?
Yeah.
I hope members of the National Assembly, and I hope Citizen Jones and yours sincerely and our listeners have not been blinded,
And viewers.
and our viewers have not been blinded to the fact that the NSIP A program came at a time that it was alleged was going to be a political tool. Was going to be a political tool to bring Buhari's government into fore. Why? Because the Empower, we started seeing President Oshibajo, penultimate months or weeks to election, going to the market and distributing. Question now is distributing to who?
Yeah.
How have we determined who is the poorest of the poor?
The key question.
What about the register?
Beneficiaries.
The
Who
beneficiary.
determines that A, B, C, and D are legitimate claimants?
And if they have claimed, what impact have they had? How are we looking at them in terms of being able to sustain? How are they paying back? Have they been paying back? And then some parts of the country also now rose and said, well, we haven't seen and heard anything. A good leader must now then say, look, we might have made a mistake in the way and manner we have projected some of these things, and if we are going to stop it, it has to go through a particular process, and we must have something that must naturally replace it. If we don't have that in place, people will naturally go up in arms. So, again, we are talking of a ruling party, and the ruling party should be such that communications, and reaching out to people and making people to really understand, will pay very, very, very well.
Aki, if you remember, in my preamble, I talked about this, that poverty is not an accident. It is man-made. The times we are in today now are becoming very hard, tough.
Extremely, not only hard, but extremely tough.
And
And whatever it is that you can cling on to, even if you know it's going to sink you, make an attempt to at least do something.
So the man or woman who requires N-Power beneficiaries, N-Power program, can only release it if it is indeed giving him or her.
If it is indeed given to him or her, I don't know if you saw the social media posts, just before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got into power at the last election, where, we had a CBN governor who said he was going to recolor our currency and all that. And I saw that where we saw some women in the village who are saying, look, with 5,000 naira turnover. And I asked, and I said, no, it can't do. And I stay in Lagos. But I said, look, I stay in Ekiti. I stay in far-flung Kwara Namuda. Give me 5,000 naira. With 5,000 naira, I can turn my wares. Yes, I'm still in poverty. I can turn my wares. That's when I knew that, yes, these things could be impactful. But when it is not going to be spread all around, when we don't have a structure where, as we do in federal character, a little bit goes there, a little bit goes to the other places, other people will be up in arms.
In taking this thing, attempting to take this thing home, therefore, the natural question is, Mr. Fatunke, is the Deputy Speaker and his colleagues, are the Deputy Speaker and colleagues right in asking Mr. President to step on the gas?
Well, they are right to the extent that you have been slow in letting us know what is happening there. The budget that has been earmarked, have you done environment? Have you skewed it elsewhere? Where have you skewed it to? How are you using it to empower the larger population of our masses? Some of this money has been diverted into CNG and the throes of deregulation, full deregulation of PMS? We need to know. We are not seeing those impacts because if you even look at our energy sector, everything is gone off the roof. So they are right to that extent. Do we have a liaison officer between the presidency and the National Assembly? Are we talking to ourselves? And if the constituencies are now asking them questions, to that extent, they are right and they don't have anything to take back to them. Well, they are not altogether right because within the same party, my expectation is that there should be some kind of consensus and understanding. And that is where I said Mr. President needs to also listen to them. And having listened to them, come out with your communications team and with your communications and your information minister to explain to Nigerians what you have in place. Plus, the fact that it came from you that within 6 months, you're going to look at the whole thing and try and do a reorganization. Why should it go beyond those 6 months? It's only a very weak leader that will have said something and cannot go back and say, yes, I said it, but this is the reason why I am slowing down, and this is the reason why I'm doing what I am doing. It's just communication for all of us to really understand. My prescription, therefore, is that the two parties should come together.
Namely?
The caucus of the House of Rep, lower the gauntlet, allow Mr. President, who should now show leadership, to now address the nation and tell us what really his plans are for the NSI,
APA
program.
Vis-a-vis the NPA beneficiaries.
In fairness, I should not sit and with you and not tell you that I am also aware that part of some of the bills that went to the National Assembly, including the budget, the current budget, is that Mr. President has done a letter to the National Assembly on issues surrounding the social investment to do. So are these concerns already being addressed? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is there a trust that even if that is addressing that, it will move in the right direction? We need communication. That's all we just did. Thank you very much.
All right, so we apply the brakes here.
I think we should apply the brakes and allow peace and consultations and communications to go right round. The APC as a party also has all the moral rights and fiber to call into a kind of a caucus and say, look, what is really going on here? And if Mr. President has been found wanting, let him know and then let him do what is right. And if this group of people are perhaps on the fast lane, they can be asked to slow down and go and explain to all the constituencies and Nigerians on what exactly is going on.
Okay. Let's stop the show here, but not before thanking you, the viewer, for paying rapt attention to the issue. Of course, it's no longer news that members of the House of Reps are asking Mr. President to speed up every issue concerning the Nigerian Social Investment Initiative program, which was meant, which targeted the vulnerable, amongst us, women, youth, and children. The debate will continue, but whether Mr. President reacts to the 3-day ultimatum given him by the Green Chamber is a matter for the coming days to tell. But Mr. Aki Fatunke, thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure, Citizen Jones. Thank you.
So we are done. Until we come your way again, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein, on behalf of the Backroom Boys, saying thank you. Bye-bye now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.